All right, today we're tackling a topic that honestly is one of the most important skills you can ever develop. It's called emotional intelligence, and it's something that affects pretty much every part of your life, from your job to your relationships.
So let me just ask you this right off the bat. What do you think is a better predictor of success? Is it your IQ? How much raw brain power you have? Or is it something else? Something about how you navigate the world of feelings, both your own and everyone else's? The answer, as you're about to see, is pretty fascinating.
So let's just dive right into the deep end with a pretty bold claim. A lot of people are calling emotional intelligence, or EI for short, a genuine career superpower. But is it really more powerful than something as established as IQ? Let's take a look.
Okay, so here's the kicker. When you look at what actually predicts career success, leadership, and just overall effectiveness, the evidence suggests that emotional intelligence is twice as important as your IQ. I'm going to say that again, twice as important. That's a huge deal.
So what in the world is it exactly? Well, here's the textbook definition. At its core, emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize what you're feeling, figure out what other people are feeling, and then use all that information to guide how you act and how you handle your relationships. And a key point here, it's not about stuffing your emotions down. It's about understanding their message.
And when you get good at this, the payoffs are real and they are measurable. People with high EI, well, they tend to like their jobs more and they're way better communicators. But it doesn't stop at the office door. This stuff bleeds into your whole life. We're talking less stress, better physical health, literally fewer trips to the doctor, and even lower rates of anxiety and depression. It really is a skill that touches everything.
Okay, so if we're going to start building our own EI, the first step is to become a kind of emotional detective. We have to decode our own feelings. What are they? What are they trying to tell us? Let's get into the building blocks.
The researcher Daniel Goleman really broke this down for us into 5 core areas. See, it all starts with self-awareness. That's just knowing what you feel when you feel it. From there, you can move to self-regulation, which is about managing those feelings so they don't manage you. Then you've got internal motivation, that inner fire. And then the final 2, empathy and social skills. That's when you turn all that understanding outward to connect with and understand other people.
Now, this next idea is a complete game changer for most people. Your emotions are not just random, messy feelings that get in the way of logical thinking. Not at all. Think of them as data. In fact, they are an incredibly sophisticated, super fast information system that our bodies evolved to keep us safe and help us thrive.
So what does that emotional data actually look like? Well, each of our core emotions is delivering a very specific message and pushing us toward a certain action. So fear isn't just a bad feeling, its message is, hey, danger here, and its urge is to get you to safety. Anger's message is, whoa, a line was just crossed, and its urge is to get you to defend that line. Once you learn to read these messages, you can start working with your emotions instead of just being thrown around by them.
Okay, so understanding the what is great, but how do you actually put this into practice, when you're in the heat of the moment? The secret, the absolute key, is in one simple but powerful idea: the pause. This quote from Viktor Frankl just nails it. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. So something happens, that's the stimulus. You immediately feel something. But right before you act, before the response, there's this little gap, this space. And in that space is your power. That's where emotional intelligence lives. And that space is the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is that immediate, impulsive, gut-level thing. It's when your emotional brain, your amygdala, just hijacks the system. But responding, that's different. Responding is what happens when you use that pause. It's a conscious choice. It's you, guided by your values, deciding what to do next. That's where the freedom is.
So how do you find that space when your heart is pounding and you just want to lash out? There's a brilliant and simple tool for this, and it's called the STOP technique. First, literally, just stop whatever you're doing. Then, take one deliberate breath, just one. Then observe what's actually going on in your head, in your body. No judgment, just notice. And only then do you proceed, but now you're doing it with awareness.
All right, now for the really fun part. Let's start filling up our EI toolkit with some practical, easy-to-use exercises that you can literally start doing the minute this is over.
The first tool is actually a concept, and it's called emotional granularity. All this means is getting really specific about what you're feeling. So instead of just saying, I feel bad, can you get more precise? Are you feeling disappointed? Or maybe frustrated? Or maybe a little bit lonely? It turns out that people who can name their feelings with this kind of precision are way more resilient.
So a fantastic way to build this skill is just to expand your emotional vocabulary. It's like upgrading from the 8-crayon box you had as a kid to the giant 64-crayon box with all the cool names. Instead of just sad, now you have words like melancholy, grief-stricken, or disappointed. Emotion wheels are great visual tools for this. They show you all the different shades of an emotion.
Okay, so here is your first EI workout. Your mission for today is to catch and track 3 emotions as they happen. First, give the feeling a specific name, not angry but irritated or disrespected. Second, what was the trigger? What just happened right before you felt that? Third, where do you feel it in your body? A knot in your stomach, tightness in your chest? And finally, what did you feel like doing and what did you actually do? Did you react or did you respond? This simple exercise is the foundation of everything.
So we've kind of seen that our emotions aren't these enemies we have to fight. They're messengers. They're a core part of our intelligence, just trying to give us information. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you've been properly introduced to your emotions, what do you think your first real conversation with them is going to be about?